They look very well, and I like the design. And the PM, someone said yesterday when they drove along here and took a look to the left, they were a little surprised as to how nice the design is. Minister PM is a design I think we can work on, and maybe do also editing of the design and use it going forward in some places. So just to say that we are asking you to take care of the unit, take care of this entire block, and protect it and keep it clean and keep the Belrock itself clean, and enjoy your home and be thankful, as thankfulness is very useful. So again, on behalf of the people here at Belrock, as the councillor, I say thanks to the MP, although the MP, and then thanks to the minister and to the KCC and all the persons who have participated in making this possible. Thank you.
In this community, we'll always remember, this is a commitment of the government of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Not because he's your member of parliament, but it is a commitment on the part of the government to provide housing solutions for those who are in need. It is quite clear that this community has been in need for many years. The conditions that existed before leave a lot to be desired. This place was destroyed by fire many years ago. And I know the Prime Minister did everything to make it possible. And today we are here to hand over these new housing facilities. We are looking at expanding on what has been put here. And
I will be the first to confess that I'm also disappointed, because it happened in 2019 when this block of board houses were destroyed by fire. And it has taken us from 2019 November, 2019 is 18, well, even more disappointment. 2018 November, you're correct, because I had just come off the plane from the G20 meeting, I believe it was. And I came straight here to meet with the people who were dislocated by the fire. And it has taken us that long to get this structure built. It is just one of the challenges that we face as a government. I think by and large, however, we have solved the bureaucratic issues which would have caused it to take so long to build. The first challenge we encountered was that there was no sewage here. And the dilemma that the government faced is we could put up temporary structures, but we would be in breach of our own rules and regulations. So the government can't perpetuate the building of houses without proper sewer, proper water, and other amenities. So before we could build these units here, we had to put in place a sewer main. And you would have seen that work take place about a year and a half ago, where we connected this community to the sewer main on Spanish Town Road. Now, for the average person listening in, you would say, but that's just simple. Get the backhoe, get the excavator, dig up the road and lay the pipe. That is the simple part of the process. But you have to go to a thing called procurement. And that takes a very long time. And it took us a little while to get the work done, to be connected to the sewer main. And then, when we finally got to that point, and we were now able to do this project, of course, we had to go through another process of procurement again. And that is to ensure that you, the beneficiary, you, the people of Jamaica, you, the taxpayers of Jamaica, that you get value for money through a competitive process. It doesn't mean that you're going to get the most inexpensive construction. It doesn't mean that you will get the cheapest and the least cost solution. But what we can guarantee is that there would be no corruption in the award of the contract, and that the people who get it did so in a competitive process. So we have satisfied all the bureaucratic and administrative requirements, and it has taken us some time. And we are now here looking at this magnificent facility. I can tell you that this is the first of its kind in Jamaica. There's no more like this. This is the first. And we spent some time to go through the design, and it is crafted to meet the needs of a particular set of Jamaicans under the social housing and our indigent housing program. These houses are not going to be owned individually. You will be able to occupy them on a long lease because they are built in a strata form. So the persons who were dislocated by the fire will have first preference in occupancy. And I believe we have 12 units here, and 9 of the families who were dislocated by the fire will be able to occupy the units here. The other 3, the community and myself and your councillor, we will sit down and we will look at the needs as they are brought before us, and we will make some decision. But it will be a community-based decision for the other 3 that will occupy. Now that we have sewers here connected to a main sewer pipe, we're going to be looking at rebuilding some of the older units in this form or even a more enhanced form. So this will be an ongoing project. Let me say a little bit about this community of Belrock very quickly. While I was at the UN making my presentation, a part of me was still in Jamaica, very concerned that we may be affected by a weather event. It could be heavy rains, or the system could strengthen to a hurricane, God forbid. Keep the prayers going up so that we are spared. But the first opportunity I got in terms of a flight, I made sure to come back to Jamaica, because I must be here in my country to make sure that everything is in place. And as I landed, I made sure that it was arranged so that we could hand over these units right away, because in the event of significant weather, I would want the families to be able to batten up in place in a safe, strong structure. So we made sure that we are delivering these units today. But it is also very important that we do this, because this community of Belrock was established in 1952 after Hurricane Charlie had hit the year before in 1951, and it created significant damage. Some of you are around. I certainly was not around for Hurricane Charlie. But because the hurricane was so devastating, the then government created this community with temporary housing. When I became your member of parliament 25 years ago, those housing units still existed, those upstairs board units, you will recall. And since then, through work with Food for the Poor, we were able to replace those board units with another set of board units. And now we are starting the process of giving you stronger, well-built, more permanent structures with more amenities to ensure that this community, which has been around, it wasn't designed to be a permanent community. But having put the permanent houses there and people just live there forever and governments have left it, it is just there. So it's very difficult for us to build the accommodations to ensure that all the people who live here can have a room and a roof over their head. So I want to give the people of Belrock the assurance that though this is the first set of 12, as soon as we see a little space available, or if the community were to decide that, all right, we will come out of the little houses that we have there so that we can build better structures in those places, then we would be gladly doing that. So my presence here today is to, one, turn over these houses, two, implore you to be prepared for any weather event that may come. And I make this appeal generally to Jamaica, supporting the appeal made by Minister Mackenzie before. All the weather models and forecasts show that Jamaica will be affected in some way. So I'm appealing to all Jamaicans, please be prepared. Do whatever little shopping you can do to have a little food preparation just in case. Put aside your important documents, put them in a safe place, right? If you can, if you have time, look at your surroundings to see if there are any trees or any limbs that might be potentially destructive to your home, and take the necessary action. Make sure that you have potable water, drinking water set aside, and batteries, flashlight. I am not encouraging candles. Not encouraging candles, but if that is what you have, then use them very carefully.
Congrats for Mr. Daniel Nelson. Here comes Mr. Nelson.
So you can have this house until you don't need it anymore. Alright? If you don't need it anymore, give it to somebody else. Alright?
Congratulations, Mr. Nelson. Oh, Michael. Okay. Michael Asru, apartment number 7.
I will need to take your apartment.
I said, where is that?
Congratulations to Michael. I now invite apartment number 12 holder, Mr. Christopher Whitworth. Congratulations. For apartment number 6, let me invite Mr. Shelton Blake. Yes. No, I'm going to solve that now, Prime Minister. Let me now invite Miss Lucinda Ratigation for apartment number 3. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Most Honourable Prime Minister. Let me now invite Honourable Minister Desmond Mackenzie to also share in the handing over ceremony by the presentation of keys to the rest of the recipients. I now invite for apartment number 5, Mr. Alric Benjamin. Excellent. For apartment number 8, Mr. Daniel Barton. And here comes Mr. Barton. And last but by no means least, another lady to round out this segment, Miss Peter Gay McLean for apartment number 1. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, Sophia. And thank you and congratulations to all who have received their keys today. The Prime Minister will count off in his usual manner.
I'm going to do it simple. After 3, 1, 2, 3.
So these units, ladies and gentlemen, are now officially opened and occupiable. Thank you once again, and God bless you. Keep safe.
New concept for us in social housing. We've been building social housing for many years, from the 1950s, West Kingston, South St. Andrew. We've been building social housing. With this unit, as you can see, we've created a nice courtyard concept, which is covered. And these are 1-bedroom studio apartments. It is a very efficient design in terms of the number of units that it holds and the materials that it uses. And we have been able to accommodate in this design 12 units. And as you can see, it is well built. It is a solid, strong structure that will last. And we have made sure that this is connected to sewage, that it has water and other amenities to ensure that the people who live here can have a basic level of comfort. The units are built at a very accessible cost, but these units are not for sale. So the persons who were dislocated by the fire were not owners of the property in which they were before. As I explained earlier, Belrock was built as a community to house persons displaced by Hurricane Charlie in 1951, but it just so happened that the temporary buildings that were built lasted up until 20 years ago, when Food for the Poor and my office worked to renew those buildings. But as you can see, they were renewed with 4 board buildings, and those buildings are now at the end of their useful life. So we have now developed this model, which will be a little bit more permanent, which will be at the basic standards of the KCC and NEPA. And these are units that the persons will be able to occupy. We have not made any arrangements for them to pay rent, but they will basically have a peppercorn long-term lease. The idea, obviously, is that if they outgrow this, their circumstances change and they move out, then they can hand back the keys to us and we will give it to someone else who is in need. So this is another element of our social housing program. So you can come and take a look at the facility.